Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And, I am going to ask you on this subject because, quite honestly, just recently, Senator Kaine and I went through an extensive process to nominate U.S. attorneys in the Commonwealth of Virginia, as you know, Eastern District, Western District. They had all the appropriate political bona fides. One was actually the Republican Speaker of the House. And we agreed with the chairman. You've got to work within the law. We did ask them, though, both, will you adhere to the law and not do something that you feel is illegal or inappropriate? I think we ended up picking the two right guys because they both been fired because they were asked to do things that at least they felt was counter to the law. So in that spirit and the same hope, Mr. Simmons, that you will have the same approach of honoring the law first and foremost. I mean, as I cited in my opening comments, the president recently told a gathering of U.S. military leaders they should use American cities as, quote, training grounds for our military, and that, quote, America is under invasion from within, no different than a foreign enemy. Mr. Simmons, you've been a law professor. You know the law. Do you agree with the president that America is under invasion from within, no different than a foreign enemy?
All right, patriots, buckle up, because what just came out of this Senate hearing is absolutely stunning. Senator after senator is admitting on the record that U.S. attorneys were fired for doing exactly what they were supposed to do: uphold the law. That's right. These were radicals. One was even a Republican Speaker of the House in Virginia, and both got shown the door because they refused to carry out illegal orders. Folks, that's not democracy, that's dictatorship.
Thanks for your question, Vice Chairman. I think to your point about expectations, I would say that I've spoken with Director Radcliffe, and his expectation for me is to provide clear and honest legal advice and to comply with the law based on that advice. And throughout my career, and if confirmed to this position, my approach would be to provide that honest.
Okay, but Mr. Simmons, does that mean if the president states it, regardless of what factual basis may be underlying the statement, that is then within the law?
So on that particular issue, I haven't reviewed the legal authorities around that issue. I mean, for example, at the CIA, I know that Section 104A of the National Security Act provides that the CIA shall not have law enforcement powers. So that's the type of clear advice that would be provided if that question arose.
In other words, if in the effort, and again, I won't quiz you more on the fact of taking folks off of counterterrorism, counterespionage, or cyber to put them on immigration, but if the president says because of this enemy from within, he wants the CIA to join in with the American military in fighting this enemy from within, what counsel would you give to Director Radcliffe?
Thanks for your question, Vice Chairman. The mission of the CIA is to collect foreign intelligence, and there are a number of limitations enshrined in the law with respect to domestic activity.
So you will advise the director that it would be illegal and wrong if the CIA was asked to help work with the military in enforcing against the enemy within? Simple yes or no would be fine.
As I said, Section 104A provides that.
So I'll take that as a yes. Mr. Simmons, you obviously well informed. Do you see any decline in threats from China, Russia, or international terrorists in terms of their effort to try to undermine the United States of America?
Vice Chairman, I think we still face significant threats to our national security.
So no undermining of those. We've not seen China and Russia pull back from cyber attacks.
Not to my knowledge, Vice Chairman.
We've not seen terrorists across the Middle East. The chairman and I agree we have to search those out and destroy them. They have not lessened their hatred for America?
Not to my knowledge.
Well, I appreciate that. Again, and I'm not going to ask you a policy question then about why we are taking FBI agents between 25 and 45% off of their duties in those critical tasks and putting them on the immigration detail where, frankly, reports we've got back is they feel that they are candidly wasting their time. But listen, if you get confirmed, you're going to have a very important job. And CIA general counsels in the past have been between a rock and a hard place many times, and I hope you will adhere to this. I do want to make sure, again, one of the things the chairman said was to the fullest extent possible, you will brief all members of the committee on intelligence activities and covert activities rather than just the chairman and the vice chairman.
Yes, Vice Chairman.
I'm going to hold you to that. Very quickly, Mr. Metzger, just, you know, this committee has spent a lot of time looking at China and economic competition. I know you cited number of things around drug and terrorism and other. I hope you will continue to work with us. I think the OIA has a great deal of opportunities to really look at this economic competition with China, and I hope you'll continue to work with us on that subject.
Vice Chairman, thank you for your question. Certainly, I share your concern about China and economic encroachment, and if confirmed, I pledge to continue working with this committee to that end.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
And now, get this. They're grilling a nominee for CIA General Counsel, asking him whether he'd go along with the president's insane idea that America is under invasion from within and that our military should use U.S. cities as training grounds. Let me tell you something. This administration's rhetoric isn't about national security, it's about control. They want to blur the lines between military, intelligence, and law enforcement, the exact opposite of what our founders intended. Even the nominee, Mr. Simmons, had to remind them, the CIA has no law enforcement powers. That's black and white in the law. But apparently, the White House needs a refresher course in the Constitution. And what's even more disturbing, while foreign threats from China, Russia, and Islamic terrorists are still raging, this administration is pulling 25 to 45% of FBI agents off Tasher. Counterterrorism duty to do what? Babysit the border, push immigration paperwork, play politics instead of protecting Americans. That's not leadership. That's sabotage. And let's talk about China. Even the committee admitted that China's economic warfare against the EWS is growing, but instead of focusing on that, we're draining intelligence resources and turning them inward, as if you, the American patriot, are the enemy. I've said it before, and I'll say it again. They fear you more than they fear Beijing, because you stand for truth. You stand for the Constitution, and you can't be controlled. This hearing just pulled back the curtain. The deep state is real, and the buying machine is trying to bend every agency, the DOJ, FBI, CIA, into a political weapon. But we're not backing down. Patriots, if you believe in law and order, if you believe in freedom over tyranny, smash that like button, hit subscribe, and share this video with every red-blooded American you know. We're exposing the truth one clip at a time. This is Right Side Roundup, reminding you, stay loud, stay proud, and never stop fighting for the country we love.